Okay, I am about to introduce another spectacular panel full of some beautiful hearted women that are at all different levels of the business. We've got rising stars, we've got someone who actually is in Melbourne. So we pre-recorded part of that today. And our hostess with the mostess, one of the panel queens, Katrina, who is an IMD, Ange Simson, Brit, Yallop, and ODAK. Come on up, ladies. Good luck. Come on. Thanks, bud.
Hello! Oh my God, it feels so special to be back here. Thank you so much. I feel so humbled to be up here sharing with you again this year. It's something that I feel is so important to the success of our business, this game plan. It really sets the tone for the actions that we get to take forward with us from today. And I am even more humbled to be able to share the stage with these beautiful women. And of course, we've got Ina, who's zooming in today as well, to talk about the focus that we put on building our toolkit, right? Our high-paying activities. Now, who in here perhaps has a love-hate relationship with the term action in this business? Actually doing the action as well. Yeah? Totally me. That is me. Yeah, I love this business when it's in flow. I can sometimes get really stuck in this business when it's not. So when we were brainstorming, Linda actually asked us to make DMO sexy. And I was like, is that possible? And we started to think about what actually does DMO stand for us, because we all do different things every day to be able to create a killer business. But what we came from was that we do our best activity when we're in flow or when we're in alignment. So I'm going to scoot on over to Ina now, and she's going to talk to you about the first decision that comes with aligned action, and give you a little bit of an insight as to what happened when she made that decision to go all in. Thanks, guys.
Hello everyone, my name is Ina and I'm an SSC in Melbourne. Firstly, a huge thank you to both Linda and James for inviting me to speak on this incredible panel, and my sincere apologies that I couldn't be there with you guys in person. Unfortunately, we're not able to travel yet, but I appreciate the opportunity to tell our story. So what I wanted to speak to you guys about today is how last year in 2020, we grew our business by over 400% in about 6 months during the Melbourne lockdown, which was a pretty intense time, and why this is possible for you. And what I really wanted to talk about is how it all comes down to the power of decision. Sometimes a decision is all that's required to create change, and it is in deciding that to change our mindset, our habits, our beliefs, that we can take our power back. So the first thing I need to do is take you guys back to around this time last year, so around February, March, and what was going on for us. And to be really honest with you, at this time in my business, I was feeling pretty frustrated. I was definitely playing the blame game and shooting all over my team in terms of my expectations around, what they should and shouldn't be doing, and just general frustration around why our business wasn't growing at the pace that I was hoping. I was really in quite a negative place, and I had definitely started to lose, sight of the bigger picture and our bigger vision. One day on a mentoring call, I was venting to Adam, and he let me go on for about 10 minutes, which was very kind of him. And with what I know now was love, he actually stopped me and said, "Girl, you need to get over yourself." And I was like, what? And then I took that on board, and I really sat with it. And I took some time to really think about what we were hoping to create and how we were showing up Was there alignment with that? And look, I made a decision to really shift focus and go all in. I decided to take radical self-responsibility and to show up every single day and lead with love and come from a place of service, just to add as much value as I could and we could, not only within the team, but to our broader community and the people that, you know, we wanted to attract to come and work with us and be part of our beautiful program. Over the next 6 months, not only did we grow our pay line by over 400% in under 6 months, we promoted 7 incredible senior partners and one of our beautiful leaders, Taryn, to QSSC. And personally, I hit QSSC and then SSC in back-to-back months whilst being awarded Rookie of the Month in August for Australia. So what on earth did we do differently and how did we flick the switch? There are 3 kind of secrets that I wanted to share with you guys around what really helped us take our business to the next level. And as I talk through these, I would love you to reflect on these within your own business and really think about how you can show up differently. So the very first thing we did was we got really certain and intentional about what we wanted to create and what we were doing. So ask yourself, are you dabbling? You know, what level are you playing at in your business? And is that actually aligned to what you want to create and where you want to go? And if not, well, are you ready to go all in? Because if you are, get really clear, get certain, and do the things that are going to help you take aligned action to get there. For me personally, the pain of knowing that it could have been great, but I wasn't brave enough or disciplined enough to try was far worse than doing the actual work. The second secret, or the second thing we really did as a team, and certainly in my experience, this is important for me to share with you, is I didn't really work a lot harder. So what I'm saying here is we didn't flick the switch by suddenly me working like an extra 20 or 30 hours a week in my business. We just got hyper focused. So we focused on the core activities that were going to build our business and take it forward. So really, I'm talking about your DMO guys, but we also really focused what mattered to us within our team was really the power of connection, which was super important to us during lockdown last year, of building our team culture and of having a lot of fun. The last secret, or the last thing I wanted to share with you, is that when you show up consistently, you inspire others to do so as well. To finish off, I wanted to read you a message from one of my beautiful partners in the team that I received middle of last year. And it said, "You are the proof in the pudding. Consistency is key, and just caring about people makes such a difference. So thank you for making the decision. The ripple effect is gold." Now, guys, I want you to imagine for a second that in 6 months' time, or at this time next year, that is you. And you've received, messages like this from your team, knowing that by showing up as a leader and showing up for yourself first, you have been able to empower others to do the same for themselves. I mean, what a gift. We all have the power to decide, and by showing up fully, to not only change our lives, but those around us. I know now that I would have missed so much personally and professionally if I had decided that it was all too hard. And we definitely wouldn't have been able to impact the lives of so many people if we had thrown in the towel. So my question to you guys is it day one or is it one day? What will you decide? Thank you so much for having me, guys, and have the most incredible day.
Awesome. I really want to highlight in there something that Ina said, and when I watched her recording, it really resonated with me. And she said, we didn't do a lot of extra work. And I think that's what a lot of people are frightened about. They're concerned that they're already working hard and perhaps they're not getting the results that they think reflects that. What is the difference between somebody who comes into this business and skyrockets? You've seen them, right? And you come in and you think, what are they doing? What are they doing that I'm not because I'm putting in the work? They're in alignment, my friends, and that's the difference. So what is alignment? For me, I mean, it's going to look different to every single person, but for me, it means when your emotions and your energy match the place you want to end up. So for a lot of us, we're waiting for that magical destination, but we're not yet showing up excited and living and breathing that mission. We're hoping and wishing that it turns up one day, whereas we need to actually prove to ourselves and anything higher that we believe in that we can do it right now. That is alignment. So if we were to reflect perhaps on the last 6 months of your business, when we look at alignment, I use like a vibrational gauge for when I'm talking to my team. And inside that gauge is a whole lot of emotions. So we're looking at things like anger, frustration, comparison, judgment. Low end of the scale, right? You're certainly not in alignment and you're certainly not getting the most from your high-paying activities. We look at things like hope, love, excitement, gratitude. If they're the emotional default of the teamie, I can guarantee that their action is actually receiving a lot more results. So that's where we come back to. It's not about working hard. Don't get me wrong, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. We all know that. It's going to take work. But the high-paying activities are really simple. All you have to do is make sure that you're approaching them from the right percentage of vibration. Now, I wanted to really highlight inside this briefly that this is an inside job. This doesn't belong to anybody else but you guys. It's not your upline's responsibility, it's not your partner's responsibility, it's not your children's responsibility to keep your vibration high and your alignment in check. Now, I wanted to share with you guys a little moment of vulnerability because some of you know my story, some of you don't. But this was a huge part of me being successful at the start because I'd done a lot of skill building around making sure that my alignment was correct. So when I first started this business, my life was a circus, like a proper circus. I had so much mess going on. So when I heard snippets of all the stories around the room, you know, my heart was just so proud because congratulations for being here. But I had organised a business launch and I knew that this business had to happen. And my business launch was on Saturday. The Friday night, my partner at the time, who was struggling with severe mental health, spent the entire night with me by his side inside the emergency department over threats of his own life. Now you can imagine that that was exhausting. It was a very abusive relationship as well, so I knew that it was to manipulate me. So I could have turned up that Saturday morning and said, you know what, I'm exhausted, I'm emotionally spent, I've got nothing left to give. I'm certainly not in gratitude, love, and hope. I'm right down here with anger. I'm pissed off, right? You knew this was a big moment for me. I knew I wanted to be able to get out of life and do well and succeed. But I ended up having to realize that this is my responsibility. I've got to spend some time today, I've got to move my vibration up, and I've got to be responsible for my own alignment so that when I turn up today to my prospects and to the start of a very prosperous career, I want to make sure that I'm playing full out and I definitely have the right alignment coming with me. So if life's not perfect, it's not an excuse. I totally understand that it's still going to be there, but it doesn't mean you can't do this business. Just take those few moments before you do any action to make sure, or check in on yourself. Now, we created a really cool workbook in here that's to help you flow through it. So if you do have time over the next couple of weeks, sit down, work your way through this, and you can actually have a look at the vibration gauge in there to check off before you get started to make sure that you're paying enough attention to whether you are in alignment and your responsibility to it. So I'm going to pass on over to Ange now, and she's going to talk a little bit more about how she can actually attract those people once you're in alignment.
Thanks, Kat. You're amazing. Attracting. This is something that I believe you really do need to be in the right energy for. So I'm so glad that Kat shared that before I shared this part. You know, what is a business if you can't attract people to come to you? It's basically a business where you're hunting down your friends and family, and you become Adam when he was 20 and doing network marketing, which no one wants to be. So you attract people via social media and obviously in person, and I want to give you guys some tips on how to do that. I personally have 3 pillars of attracting that I think are really, really important to make sure that you're staying on top of. So in the workbook, of course, there is an exercise you guys can do. We won't do it now because I only have a few minutes with you. But I want to talk about the first pillar, which is to live the mission. This is so simple, guys, so simple. And I think what can happen is we sometimes think that we have to look a certain way, be a certain way, show up a certain way in order to be someone who's attractive. But I can tell you, you don't need to be an influencer on social media who looks great in Lycra and drinks only green things and eats only green things. You can attract people by being 100% your authentic self. And this is, you know, I believe something that holds a lot of people back. Does anyone here ever have this thought of like, why would someone want to come to me for their health? Or why would someone want to come to me, you know, to run a business? Okay, so like 4 people, that's it. Okay, thank you. So what I want you guys to understand is people are not attracted to perfect. When I go on social media and I have no makeup on and I don't put that pretty filter that makes my skin look tanned and everything sparkly, that is when people reach out. That is when people come to me and say, oh my gosh, let me talk to you about some stuff that's real. Oh my gosh, I feel really connected to you. No one feels connected to perfect. So I want you guys to show up as you because that is attractive in so many ways. And while you're doing this, take Juice Plus every day, every freaking day. Like guys, take it every day. All of the products. Have a smoothie every day. Have all of your capsules. Give your kids the chewables. This is living the mission. And then on top of that, work on your business every day. In even just 5-minute increments, just do something on your business every single day. I have given you a list of different ways to live the mission. And I would love for you guys when you work on this to add more things in. But this is the first pillar because energetically, if you're not working on your own health and well-being, if you're not working on your own business, you're not going to be able to energetically vibrate at the level that attracts people to come to you. The second pillar is to share your journey. So one thing about this is it doesn't need to be difficult. It doesn't need to be time-consuming. Make it easy for yourself. I share my journey by, I just did last month, 30 days of I just committed to every single day I'm going to share my smoothie. And sometimes it was the exact same smoothie for like 5 days in a row. But by day 5, people were still messaging me going, hey, wow, what are those capsules that you put into your smoothie? That's amazing. I was like, surely people are getting bored of this. No one got bored of it. It was really weird. But if you're consistently sharing it, there are some people who aren't going to see what you post on Monday, but on Thursday, they're looking at your stories. Or you're going to bump into them at the supermarket and you're going to share a little bit about your online business in September. And then in June, when they see you again, they're going to go, hey, actually, things have gone upside down and I would love to talk to you more about what it is you were telling me about last time. So you need to be so consistent in sharing your journey. When you're talking to people, I think what you guys did this morning with Beck was amazing. Get really clear on how do I share my story in a short, sharp way that evokes curiosity so that they want to know more from me. So if you're consistently doing that, people are going to start asking you questions. I know you feel like a broken record. Sometimes I'm like, seriously? Like, do people really need to see another time lapse of me doing yoga to understand that the program we have is awesome? Like, probably not. And people don't need to see that I give my kids the chewables every day, but I do it because on a certain day, someone is going to be having a really rough time and their kid is going to be complaining and not eating vegetables again, and they're going to open up their social media or remember bumping into me and they're going to go, you know what? I could get those chewable things that Ange gives her kids. So consistency is so important. And then the final pillar is connect with your most fun people. So live the mission, share the mission, but then be so intentional that you're connecting with people every single day. And we teach that you should connect with people that you want to work with. Who would you love to help with their health? I personally am not really interested in the people that Adam was talking about that are like, love whinging. I'm like, they're not my people. So I intentionally know that I'm looking for people who look like they want to grow, who look like they want to find a solution. I'm connecting with people who are entrepreneurial already, who are already sharing their journey on social media. I'm looking for people who are actually doing cool things, and I'm intentionally connecting with them. So again, there are ways to connect with people in your workbook that you can work on, but do it really authentically. Think about people that if you weren't doing this business, you would be so stoked to make friends with them anyway. You would connect with them no matter what. You would love to just have a chat, share some cool stories, do all those things. Connect with those people. Don't overthink it. And when they see your beautiful social media page or you guys meet up and you pull your chewables out of your handbag, they're going to be like, tell me more about this stuff that you do, because you're so perfectly living the mission. All of the pillars come together to create a really great way to attract people to ask you more about what you're doing. So I hope that this is really helpful. Brit is going to teach you guys actually how to talk about what we do now.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Ange. I'm really excited to speak with you all about following on from what Ange was saying with how to actually recruit your perfect customer. So you have heard today from these beautiful women about how to find your tribe, how to find your perfect, ideal person that you want to link arms with. Now, whether that's for the business, whether that's for a customer, the same rules apply. And so I wanted to begin this by saying last year I sat in the exact same spot that you guys are right now. And I looked up at the stage, at these people on the stage, and I thought, these people are freaking unicorns. Like, I am never going to be the person that stands up there. And so here I am today with a customer base of over 150 people, and I wanted to share that with you guys to show you what is possible. And I am not a unicorn. I am not a particularly talented person. I'm just a regular, everyday person, just like everyone else sitting in the room today. But I got out of my own way. I stopped telling myself my own BS, and I set the bar at a higher level. And so I want to first and foremost ask you guys, who's ready to play at a different level today? Yeah, that's the energy that we wanted. There it is. Amazing. So what I want you guys to think about is setting the bar at your own standard. So I remember thinking when I first started this business that maybe 2 to 3 customers per month was the standard. That was sort of what we would aim to do. But then I asked myself after the last game plan, what's stopping me from that being 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 in a month? And to be completely honest with you, the only thing that's stopping me doing that is myself. So I want to encourage you guys to raise your own standard, to raise the bar, and to ask yourself, who am I robbing of this opportunity every day by not sharing this with somebody and inviting them to come have a look at our products or our program that we're working with? So raise the bar, set your own damn standards, and remember that you're setting yourself a goal here today, so the next game plan that comes around, you can stand up here on stage and say that you made it. So today, I want to talk to you guys about what happens when you found your perfect customer. So you found your person, maybe that's on social media, maybe that's in person. I know for me, it's definitely more on Instagram. And I want you to visualize what they look like right now. Have a think. What do they look like? What do they do? Where have they been hanging out? Where are you going to find this person? Now, if you have a look in your workbook, I've put together a bit of a script that I personally teach my team on how to authentically communicate and relationship build with potential customers. So the first step that I encourage you to do once you've found the person that you're wanting to help is community manage. And so what that looks like for me and my team is we reach out to people by liking, commenting, replying to stories, and engaging in their profile. You're basically wanting to become their stalker / best friend. It's a very fine line that you're wanting to be working with. Now, the next thing that you want to be doing is making sure that you're reaching out in a heartfelt way. Hands up anyone that has received one of those really cringy messages in their inbox, like a Pamela Anderson. Yeah, we've all had them, right? Nothing is worse than that. So I always make sure that what I do when I reach out is I make sure it's genuine and it's heartfelt. So if I've found somebody that's on their workout journey, or they're wanting to dive into a new health challenge, or whatever it is that I feel like I resonate with them on, that's what I'm going to reach out and create conversation about. So if someone is talking about going to the gym and they're diving into a new workout plan, I'm going to message them and say, hey girl, so great to connect with you. I love that you're also on the Gold Coast. Tell me more about your workout routine at the moment. I'm creating curiosity and building relationships, not even talking about our product or the program in that first initial message. So then it's your job from step number 3 is to find the pain from there. So you're relationship building, you're building connection, conversation, and you're figuring out what is missing for them in their current routine. Now that could be in your program that you're using, that could be in Juice Plus, that could be a variety of ways that you can help this person. So I want you guys to visualize a funnel and start thinking broad, what questions can I ask to narrow down to find the pain? You're then going to start to emphasize. Say, me too. That's the key. You want to be able to speak to someone and empathize and make sure that they're aware that you also were in that space as well. That's really important. And then you're going to ask your customer, your potential customer, if I sent you this link to check out, would you be interested in having a look? And that's what our job is, guys. We're asking the questions, we're building relationships and offering to show them something that might help. And so you can read through the steps below. There's a lot of steps to go through one by one. I don't want to go through them all today because I'm conscious of time. But one thing that you really have to remember is that we are here to be master question askers. We're here to relationship build, and we're here to ask some golden questions in order to have those relationships potentially turn into lifelong customers, team members, and most importantly, family. That's what we're here for. So in your time, have a look, go through the scripts that are provided there for you to be able to implement each step. So you can have a look, ask the golden questions, see where you can best help this person. And remember, if you're going in to approach somebody with the idea of being their friend and nothing else, you can't lose. So let's go and take the rest of 2021. Let's set our own standards. Let's raise the bar for what we want to achieve. And let's go change some lives. Thank you.